you got to come to the knowledge that when you enter into Christ as one of His children, that it is no longer your life. Sometimes you got to come to that point. And even after you've been traveling down that road, because we know that He's the way, the truth, and the life, that even though you're traveling down that road, sometimes He's going to try. And it all depends on how you deal with it, on how far He's going to take you down that road. Either He knows that you're ready to go on, or you're not ready to go on. You know, that Isaac can represent something that you're facing in your life, that you're battling, something that you've been worrying over, something that you've been fighting. It can represent a lot of things. If you would, go ahead and turn in your Bibles to Genesis chapter 22. You know, when Brother Mitchell asked me to preach on this, as we was actually leaving the restaurant, we all went there to go in the crowd. We was all four of us left there like pigs. Ticks swelled up, just, like we've been on an old hound dog. And pigs too. I don't know, I tried to put it in on them. Loser looked at me, he said, "You going back?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to go hit that dessert bar." He said, "Me too, let's go." We went up there and we tried to put it in on him. I don't think we done it though, brother. But here in Genesis chapter 22, you know, Abraham, he waited on Isaac. Isaac was the promised son. He waited on Isaac for 100 years. Now, Brother Mitchell, I'm going to use you for a second. How would you like to wait on that baby to be born for 100 years? That's why I asked you, I didn't ask her. You know, Sarah at one point in time, she lost a little bit of faith that she wasn't going to have a son. That she wasn't going to be able to give him children. But it took them staying in God's will. They realized that, you know, it had to be God's way in God's time. Genesis chapter 22, and it came to pass in these things that God did tempt Abraham. And He said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here am I. I like it right there. He said, Behold, here am I. You know, where are you at when Christ calls you? Are you one of the ones that's going to say, Behold, Lord, here am I. I hear you, Lord. What is it you want me to do? That's one thing that I've learned about Abraham, about reading about him. No matter where he was at and what was going on, he always had that ear to hear what the Lord had to say to him. Every time the Lord called out upon him, he said, Here am I. Just like you did when you was a kid growing up to your dad. Remember my dad used to holler at me, Andy, yeah, I'm over here. Where you at? I'm over here by then, wherever I was at. Well, he'd know. Because I knew if I didn't answer him, I was going to get a whooping. But I just love it right there because he's a true child of God. That no matter when he was called, he answered, Here am I. Verse 2, he said, Take now thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there, burnt offering, upon the mountain which I tell of thee. Take thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest. This son, his child, he had to wait on for 100 years to be born, the promised son. He's had a short time with him here on this earth. It doesn't say how old he was, but he had a short time with him. He was still a kid. He said, Take your son and go to this land and offer him a burnt offering to me on a mountain which I tell thee. I can't imagine what would go through Abraham's mind. But I can imagine, you know, I don't have any kids of my own, but as I look at my nieces and nephews, I can only imagine how hard that would be for me to do that to them. But to do it for your own son, to know that you're going to have to take your own son and offer him to the Lord. Verse 3, And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for a burnt offering, and rose up and went to the place which God had told him. Then on the third day lifted up his eyes, and saw a place far off. And Abraham said unto the young men, Abide ye here with the asses, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and the knife, and they went both of them together. He rode 3 days with 2 men from his camp, his son, and everything for this sacrifice. Come here. Come here. He rode 3 days. And when they got there, he took the wood and laid it on his son. Laid it on him. And said, come on. Walk. We got to go up here to this mountain. This is where we're going to build that altar at. Go ahead, next verse. And Isaac spake unto Abraham, his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Behold, the fire, the wood, but where's the lamb for the burnt offering? Go to the next verse. And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they both of them went together. Amen. He kept going, knowing what he was going to have to do to his son. Go ahead and sit down. Give him a hand. Knowing he was going to have to do. He took that son, rode with him for 3 days to have his little boy look up and ask him, Daddy, I see I've got all this stuff for this offering. You've got the knife, you've got the fire, and I'm carrying the wood. But where's the sacrifice at? And he had to look at him and say, Son, don't worry. God will provide himself a lamb. Go ahead and play. I've got a song I want you to hear before I finish the rest of this. Go ahead. Listen to the words here.
Abraham prayed for the day when God would give him the son. Blessed Isaac was his name. The greatest.
It doesn't matter what you may be facing in your life and how bad it may seem. You just got to hold on to the faith that God's going to see you through it. That's all you can do is live by faith. There's no need in worrying. There's no need in getting mad about it. If you're truly letting God have control of your life, let Him lead you down that road.
And on this mountain,
because you are going to be tempted and tried. That's how you get stronger in faith. As they're tested. So there are times that you'll have to prove your faith to people in this world and to show them what it is that we stand on and why. You know, He never said it was going to be easy to travel this road. But He did promise that He would never leave us nor forsake us. And He'd go with us even all the way to the end. And the road that He has us travel is the same road that Jesus Christ has traveled Himself. All the way to the cross to pave the way. He was the designer. He was the builder. And He's the one that put His stamp of approval on that road.
Now most of us, I dare to say, we have a nice and it's in God's way.
Sometimes you got to look inside yourself and see what's in the way that's keeping God from moving you on forward in this walk. Because there is callings upon us,
There is more